there's two things that always happen to Texans. One, if they get in the playoffs, they play on Saturday, and if they win that game, they play the next week and get demolished. And that's Texans football. They have not advanced past this round. They will not advance this round. That game, in fact, the game probably is already over. We just don't know it yet.
Some bulletin board material there for the Texans. Joe Mixon's going to be smoking on that Frank the Tank back after the game.
Rundown Monday, January 13th. We got Max. We got Frank the Tank. I'm Stephen Shea. We are presented by Reese's. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are the perfect combo of chocolate and peanut butter. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups may be even more perfect with a layer of ooey gooey delicious chocolate lava. You can buy Reese's Cups basically everywhere. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are also featured in the big game. It's lava time, baby. Try out Reese's new delicious chocolate lava big cup. Check those out. Reese's, an absolute dream sponsor. Love Reese's. Who doesn't love Reese's? Chocolate and peanut butter are the absolute perfect combination.
You know what I like? My favorite Reese's are those tiny ones. Those like
Reese's
little one bite. The one bite.
The
Reese's.
cluster ones?
Oh, he's talking individual wrapped ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Individual wrap ones, especially when you're trying to lose weight and trying to avoid the chocolate as much as I am, grabbing one of those will satisfy your craving.
A little treat.
Yo.
I like that. Obviously, we're off a big football weekend. NFL games weren't great. Max, we'll start with you. Eagles moving on in a fairly easy game. A little nerves in the second half, but Eagles 22, Packers 10. How we feeling about their first round performance at home against the Packers?
It was good. It's about as you want a first round game to go. The defense looked phenomenal. The offense still had some kinks to work out. No one really played last week.
Yep.
Hurts hasn't played for a couple weeks, so hopefully they're just getting back into the swing of things, and now that they'll be ready to go for next week. As far as the offense goes, the defense made big plays. Darius Slay made that huge interception. I think in the second quarter there, they had 4 turnovers. Obviously, the fumble off the kickoff was massive. Tone setter, and they really controlled the game, but you would like to see the offense get a little bit more dialed in going into the rest of the playoffs because you're not going to beat teams like the Lions like that.
I mean, your star receiver was trying to get dialed in. A.J. Brown reading a book on the sidelines. Frank, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't even know. Is it a book that he just couldn't put down? I mean, what's going on here? Is he reading War and Peace or something? Is he in a book club? I mean, he should just wait for the movie to come out, and then he could watch it then.
Motivational book.
You know what you should do? I do Audible. I have when I do my walks, I'm listening to Audibles. I'm listening right now to a biography about Don Shula. So listen to it. He should get it Audible and put the earbuds in and just be able to play it. He could actually still listen to it without even look like he's listening to it.
I mean, Max, this is a crazy move. Like, I get it. It's the Eagles. A.J. Brown's your guy. But if this was any other team, you would be crushing. This is DJ Moore. If this is DJ Moore on the Bears, you guys would be killing Big Cat about him reading a book on the sidelines to get more locked in. It's motivational quotes, is it?
Yeah, motivational quotes. It's not like he's reading a novel. It's not like he's got a page turner that he just can't put down. He does it. He says he does it every game, which I've really
that had to have been called for,
because there's no way that it would take that long for someone to finally see it.
Yeah,
but for daily affirmations or something.
Baseball players have little superstitions, like that's a big thing. If he didn't have a good game, but if he had a good game and you saw him doing that, it wouldn't have the same discourse that was going on right now. But let the guy do what he needs to do to lock in and be prepared for the next drive. If that's reading some motivational quotes and getting yourself ready, then so be it. George Kittle's reading letters from his dad before
pre-game in private.
I'm sure sometimes he brings it out and he reminds himself. He's getting him. It's reading. You're getting yourself ready.
It was very LeBron type showy. Like, hey, I'm reading a book. Look at me. Self-help book. Also, like, I mean, you're in the NFL playoffs where things could change. I know on a bad snap, and you're on the sidelines, not even paying attention to the game. I get it. He's not on the field. They're on, defense, but pay attention, like lock it, like you're
He
reading
is locking
motivated.
in.
What does he hate? Does he hate it there so much? And I know Jalen Hurts hasn't been great this season as far as throwing the football. Do you think there's a possibility he just like hates it there so much and is just trying to get through the day?
No. I think that he probably was frustrated with how that game was going and he needed to lock himself in mentally, and that's a way for him to do it without making a scene. And I guess it has made a scene, but it's an internal thing to get himself where he needs to be. And I'm fine with him doing it as long as we're winning games.
Well, that's it. Two follow-up games. Does he bring this to future games, or is it done?
No, he has to. He has to bring it to future games, and he has to do it during. He's playing well.
Is it true the book is about how to change careers and ask for a trade?
No, from my understanding, it is not about how to ask for a trade. I think that would be a pretty niche book.
He's already read that book, Frank. It worked out fine. But if they lose in a future game, are you going to crush him for reading the book?
To be determined.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that was quite the scene. But yeah, Eagles dominant performance. Saquon, big runs at the end of the game. He was solid throughout. Josh Jacobs was really good. The Packers couldn't do anything. Or actually, I had a question. Two NFL guys. We're all streaming this weekend. I asked this question before the season. Would you rather have Jordan Love or Caleb Williams? And I got laughed at. And everyone was like, Caleb Williams is going to be, the next big thing. The poll ended up being, I think it was like 60-40 for Caleb Williams. Preseason, I was on Jordan Love. Postseason, I'm on Jordan Love. He did have 3 interceptions. 2 of those were in the first half. The one was, after everybody and their cousin got hurt. But would you guys right now, contracts aside, so take the money out of it, would you rather have Caleb Williams as your quarterback or Jordan Love? Frank, I'll start with you.
I can't really determine it because Matt Eberflus was such a bad coach. I mean, the Bears could have an opportunity now to hire Mike McCarthy. He's a good quarterback whisperer. He's done a good job with Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott. I mean, that'd be quite a hire for the Bears now that Mike McCarthy's officially been fired by the Cowboys. But I think Caleb Williams has to say that he's not good is kind of bad, but it's Jordan Love looks good so far, so I would choose Love, but I wouldn't say Caleb Williams is bad. I want to see how he does with a quarterback that's actually competent and not staring down at turkey dinner as time ticks off the clock.
Max, you're a Philly guy. You're going to choose Love?
No. I think that the biggest difference, as Frank started to say it, is it that Jordan Love is the better quarterback, or is Jordan Love that just plays for the Packers? Like, as the player's aspect of it, I would take Caleb Williams over Jordan Love because I think if you were to switch scenarios and you had Caleb Williams playing under Matt LaFleur in the Packers organization and have Jordan Love playing under Matt Eberflus in the Bears organization, I think Jordan Love would be a disaster for the Bears, and then the Packers would put Caleb Williams in a situation to one day succeed, whether that's now or whatever. Strictly as of like quarterback play, I would say Caleb Williams, but if I had to make a guess on a quarterback's future going forward in their current situations, I think I would say Jordan Love. But just as a player, I think Caleb Williams is probably better.
Okay. All right. Let's just quickly transition to tonight. We're going to talk about the rest of the weekend games, but since the winner of tonight's game is going to be playing at Philly, since we know that because the Commanders won. Who we got tonight, guys? Frank, I'll start with you.
Earlier in the week, I was on the Rams. Kind of felt that they already beat the Vikings once this season on that Thursday night game. But what's going on with the game being moved? And the Arizona's trying to do their best to make the Rams feel home. They painted the field Rams colors supposedly, and I just think that the distractions of what's going on with the fires and how the family lives are in upheaval, that they have to move this game. It's going to feel like a road game for the Rams. It's already a road game for the Vikings, but I think the Vikings are going to win this game.
Max, what you got?
Yeah, I think the Vikings win easy. I think that people are kind of have recency bias because of how bad the Vikings looked against the Lions, but the Vikings have been pretty dominant for most of this year, and I think 2.5 points is way too low. I would rather, given that we play the winner of this game in the next round, I would much rather play the Rams. I think that we would have much easier time against them because their defense is so much worse, and they'll be traveling across the country and playing. They'll just be enough of an environment that I wouldn't be as worried. But I think the Vikings are just a way better team.
Yeah, I like Minnesota tonight as well. Shout out to Frank. He's taping this right now. It's 11:27 Central Time. You're hopping on a flight in a couple hours going back to New York to stream it. So watch the guys in New York stream it tonight.
Yes, yeah, I'm doing a Deion Sanders, so to speak.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the rest of the games this weekend. We'll go recency bias. Bucs versus Commanders was the best game of the weekend, I think by far. I mean, it came
Oh,
out.
not even close.
Sure.
Not even close.
I'll start with you guys. What were your guys' perceptions of the game? Max, you were rooting for the Commanders, correct?
No, I was rooting for the Bucs
Oh, okay.
because I don't want to play the Vikings.
Fair.
Basically, I think the best situation for the Eagles would be either the Rams or the Bucs, and I could have locked that in by the Bucs winning last night. I think that the Commanders have this voodoo. They have something at the end of games that things go their way that they aren't even really controlling. That is just like kind of Team of Destiny vibes. I think that Team of Destiny will probably run out of juice against the Lions. But there was 3 plays in that game that were first the doink in. You rarely see a doink in. They got that 50-50 going their way.
37-yard field goal makes me sick that happened. It's like 52 yards, like, all right, whatever, that'll happen. But 37 yards, fucker.
I know. And it should have never been that close, but it was. And he doinked it in, whatever, never happens. And then in the fourth quarter, there was just 2 plays by the Bucs of unforced errors.
Horrible.
That just cost them the game that had nothing to do with the Commanders' play themselves. It was just unforced errors. You had your center snapping the ball too early, and then missed timing on a jet sweep. Those are 2 things that, like, granted, yes, the Commanders took advantage of those situations. Jaden Daniels is really good down the stretch. He's a really, really good quarterback. But how, like, so many times they're catching these breaks that are just like
It's not voodoo. I'm going to tell you right now. Watch out. Jaden Daniels is going to be haunting the Eagles for years to come.
Oh, yeah.
This guy now is, I think Jaden Daniels he has it. He has it. He's not just a good quarterback. He is a great clutch, game-winning, take the game by the horns, steal balls, make the plays that are needed quarterback. Him at the end of games all year have been just the Hail Mary. He just has something in him that could win games. Now I agree that they're not going to beat the Lions because the Lions are on the next level. But in a couple of years, the Commanders are going to be on that level. He's going to be one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the NFL within a couple of years. He is better than any quarterback that's come out in the last few years. He's better than Caleb Williams. He is just it. He is him. And the Commanders now are on track to be an elite team in a year or 2.
Which is scary. And yeah, I think the end of the game, like voodoo, it's just he's the best player in the field. And he is imposing his will. He's a great player. Like last night, there was like 52 seconds left or something like that. And they had to run a 3rd down play. It was 3rd, and I think it was like 1 or 3rd and inches. And they didn't hand the ball off to Brian Robinson. They went with him, and he was dead to rights. Kalijah Kancey made a great play, got in the backfield, and it looked like he was about to have a sack. And Jaden Daniels just stiff-armed him and ran to the side and got the yardage that he needed for the first down. And then they obviously sealed the game with the field goal at the end. It sucked, like losing like that, losing in a way, and I would rather lose like that than get, our doors blown off and be nowhere close. It sucked. Get doinked in sucks. The Graham Barton, the center, hiking it too early with just a miscount. Dan Orlovsky did a really good breakdown of that today. That sucks. The jet sweep. We ran that play literally. 17 games we've played. We've probably run that play in 14 of them. That's a solid once a game with either Sterling Shepard or Jalen McMillan, or even Chris Godwin before that. Never had an issue with that. For us to botch that in that time at that field position right after getting a fourth down stop is just brutal. I saw some people online killing Todd Bowles. I confronted Big Cat in the kitchen this morning. I heard him on PMT saying like Todd Bowles stinks. I thought Todd Bowles did a really good job last night, and he's going to get and he gets crushed a little bit for time management, and that is I would agree that's his weakest area. I thought his time management was not bad last night. There was the end of the first half where people were really worried because he wasn't calling timeout. They had two timeouts left, and he called one with 17 seconds left. It's cutting it a little bit close. It ends up working out. I would have preferred like 20 to 22 seconds left there for a timeout, but that's, obviously Monday morning quarterbacking this thing to a T.
Yeah, they kind of got themselves in a bad situation there, where they only had two timeouts in the final minute. Knowing that the Buccaneers get a first down, it's try to field goal anyway. So what they're doing is hoping that maybe they get a fire drill situation, but it just didn't work out.
Well, no, I'm talking about the end of the first half. So, I thought that was actually pretty good clock measure because he was burned a bit. They had a game in Kansas City where they called a time with 33 seconds left from a couple yards away, and they ended up giving the ball back to the Chiefs with 30 seconds left. It didn't hurt us. It ended up going overtime, but he got crushed for that time management decision. I thought this one was much better. I also liked how he talked in his press conference after the game that if they didn't get that third and inches where Graham Barton kind of messed up the snap and they got like a 3 or 4 yard tackle for loss, he was considering going for that. So I am a Todd Bowles guy. I think there are certainly areas he needs to improve. I don't think he's, Sean McVay or, one of these elite coaches. That being said, I think that he is a good coach, and I'm perfectly happy with Todd Bowles being my coach next year and moving forward, hopefully for years to come. I think he is a good coach, and he's getting a lot of hate right now, so I just wanted to address that. But yeah, shitty way to end the season. Best of luck to the Commanders next week at Detroit. That is certainly going to be a tough game. We'll touch on the AFC games. These were not good games.
Oof.
Yesterday, we'll start off Bills Broncos. Broncos up 7-0. This looked like it was going to be like, holy shit. Like, was everyone on the wrong side of this? Frank, even after that Bo Nix touchdown, did you have any thoughts that Buffalo is in for a long day?
I thought the first half the Broncos played competitively.
Should have been tied.
It should have been a tie. They doinked the field goal, and that one didn't bounce in. But second half, the Bills just laid the wood down. It was the Bills. Okay, we came out a little flat. The Broncos came out energized. Now we take over. We just show what we can do, and the Broncos just couldn't do anything. And I think it's basically because look at the Broncos team. They got a lot of rookies on the team. Bo Nix is a rookie. Got a young team that came out energized. Okay, we're in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs. And then second half came out, and the Bills just came out. Okay, these guys, we're better than them. Let's just go out there, and that was all she wrote.
Shout out to Gruden too, because he said in his before, he's like Sean Payton's gonna, or he's on the Pro Football Show. He's like Sean Payton's gonna do something crazy to win this game. And he pulls out the fake punt, which works. Max, do you have any thought the Broncos were gonna be able to pull this upset off?
I mean, there were like some rumblings going into the weekend of like the Broncos defense is good enough to, pull off an upset like that. So that was one game that was like kind of interesting just because you have a elite defense and a Super Bowl winning head coach. So when you saw that first touchdown, I was like, oh, this could be interesting, but the Bills are just too good. Like Josh Allen is too good. And I'm just happy that the NFL fans are going to be able to watch Ravens Bills next week because that'll be
that's gonna be an elite game. That's gonna be the best game of the week then next weekend.
Yeah, I mean, we look back, a couple of years ago, Bills Chiefs, that game where the Chiefs scored like 13 seconds. That was a divisional game, right? That was not the AFC Championship game. Yeah, so I mean, this feels like it could have that type of feel. Let's quickly touch on it before we get into that game. Ravens Steelers,
Oh,
an absolute beatdown by the Ravens. If you're a Steelers fan, Frank, do you want Tomlin out?
you know, the Steelers are at a crossroad right now. Mike Tomlin's such a good coach. He gets them to the playoffs.
Yeah,
He gets them to the playoffs, but they are just not a good. If Mike McDaniel's coaching the Steelers, they're going 4-13.
yeah.
If Brian Daboll's coaching the Steelers, they're going 3-14. But Mike Tomlin's such a good coach, and he'd probably be better off if he went elsewhere and won it somewhere else and could say, you see, I am a good coach. It's just the Steelers are so stagnant and stale. And they just make the playoffs every year, so they can't get better. But they're stubborn about it, and they don't want to blow it up. But you can't blow it up if Tomlin's there. They're just in a purgatory. They're in NFL purgatory, and they might make the playoffs, but they're just purgatory. The best thing that can happen to the Steelers is to see if anyone wants Tomlin, and Tomlin goes, you trade him, then you trade the whole team. You blow the team up. You go down for 2, 3 years, and you come up. Otherwise, you're just going to be stagnant, and all of a sudden, Tom's going to retire, and you're going to be oh, bad. They're going to be just bad, bad. They need to blow it up now. It's so stagnant. They're stuck in this rut. You just gotta do something. And Tomlin, let him go coach somewhere. He'd be a good fit for the Bears. I mean, I'd love him coach in Miami, but blow it up, clean it up, start fresh because it's so stagnant and hard. You can't fix it. It's just like they're good enough to make the playoffs, but they're not good enough to do anything else. They're good enough to finish 9-8, 10-7, but they're not good enough to do anything else. And it's just Tomlin's going to get you enough wins, but you just can't blow it up. You can't blow it up with him there because he'll find ways to win games that other coaches can't.
Max, objectively, who's a better coach, Mike Tomlin or Nick Sirianni?
Uh, one of them has the highest winning percentage in the out of active NFL coaches right now, and it's Nick Sirianni. So that's the only thing I'll answer about that question.
Tomlin's never had a losing season. He's been there 18 years. He's done it
Over,
over a longer period of time.
yeah.
18 years, no losing seasons.
Winning percentages, though, you got to think
Winning
about
percentage, well, that's a small window. If Nick Sirianni can carry this winning percentage over a 10-year period, then I'll give him his flowers. But Tomlin's done it for 18 years. I mean, Tomlin with the Eagles, the Eagles would probably be the 1 seed. They probably wouldn't even play this weekend. No,
Max, who you like this weekend? Steelers or Ravens? Or
that.
sorry, Ravens or Bills?
I'm gonna say the Bills. I think I just trust Josh Allen more in these playoff pressure situations. Neither of them have really won anything like of note in the AFC, but at least I've seen more Josh Allen performances that I can like look at and be like, all right, that is a winning performance. I haven't really seen that from Lamar, so
Yeah.
until you see that, I'm gonna pick with what I see. I think Lamar probably has some better pieces around him, like roster wise, but I just think I just like Josh Allen right now better,
Yep.
and I would like to see him go forward. So I'll take the Bills.
I like the Bills too, yes, and I actually think this game is going to come down to the Bills Mafia and the home crowd. I Both teams are cold weather, so that's not going to affect either of them. But I just think the Bills know their window of opportunity is closing, and they know right now they have to strike with the irons hot. They know they have a good chance to go to Kansas City and win. Forget about Chiefs, Texans. I mean, the Texans played a Charger team that came in just flat and Justin Herbert's postseason resume looks ugly right now.
Yeah.
And in big games, I see primetime games. Herbert, he's I know Tua has his problems, but everyone tries to compare Tua to Herbert. I think Herbert stinks. I don't like Justin Herbert. I think he's the most overrated quarterback in the NFL. I mean, every time I see him in a big game, he sucks. He can't. I've never seen Justin Herbert lead a 2-minute drive. He beats the bad teams. Yeah, good for you. But ugh, no, Justin Herbert, just that performance was, and the Chargers should have been up 17-0 the way the Texans came out in that game, and then CJ Stroud just throws that little after a a, a fumbled snap, mind you, just tosses it up, and all the Chargers are running fumble, 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 and meanwhile this one guy standing alone out there. I mean, alone out there on an island, and CJ Stroud's able to throw to him. I mean, that's just the biggest mistake. And then from that moment on, the Chargers were done, mentally done, and they just crumbled, just fell apart. And I'm surprised it happened to Jim Harbaugh team, but it's
Yeah.
because Justin Herbert is so overrated.
Max, do you give the Texans any shot against the Chiefs next weekend?
Um, I want to say yes, but it's no. Like
That's that
I,
game. That game is going to be over before the Chiefs haven't had a lot of blowouts this year, but this one's going to be a blowout. They only played them last month, a couple of weeks ago, uh, and
I think it'll be close in the first half.
the Tank Dell injury was unfortunate. Uh, they're just going they're going to just pound the Texans. They're going to win that game by 3 touchdowns at least. They're going to the Texans are going. This will be the first game all year in which the Chiefs top 30 points because they're going to come out fresh, 2 weeks off. They're going to want to say, "Oh, you talk about not scoring points." In fact, I'm going to tell you what the final score is going to be right now. That's going to be Chiefs 41, Texans 3. It's going to be ugly. You're going to see they're going to be showing Taylor Swift every 5 minutes, because everyone's going to be bored. It's going to be a brutal game, ugly. The Texans are just going to get rolled up upon like they always do. There's two things that always happen to Texans. One, if they get in the playoffs, they play on Saturday, and if they win that game, they play the next week and get demolished. And that's Texans football. They have not advanced past this round. They will not pass this round. That game, in fact, the game probably is already over. We just don't know it yet.
Some bulletin board material there for the Texans. Joe Mixon's going to be smoking on that Frank the Tank back after the game.
Sounds like a pretty safe bet. Let's talk about SimpliSafe. If you're like me, you know nothing is more important than protecting your loved ones from harm. That's why I, along with millions of Americans, trust SimpliSafe with my home security. I have the SimpliSafe app on my phone. We have it in our house. It is awesome. If you want to enjoy the same peace of mind, which is why I'm excited to share an exclusive New Year's discount with viewers of the Rundown, 50% off your new SimpliSafe system when you order now. Again, traditional security systems only take action after someone is already broken. That's too late. SimpliSafe's Active Guard outdoor protection plan can help prevent break-ins before they even happen. AI-powered cameras backed by live professional monitoring agents monitor your property and detect suspicious activity. Someone's lurking around or acting suspiciously, those agents can talk to them in real time, activate spotlights, or even call the police, all before they have had a chance to get inside your home. Monitoring plans start affordably around $1 a day, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, or your money back. Name the best home security system by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. Start with a greater peace of mind. Start this year with a greater peace of mind. Visit simplisafe.com/rundown to claim 50% off a new SimpliSafe professional monitoring plan. And your first month is free. That's simplisafe.com/rundown. There is no safe like SimpliSafe, the official security monitoring device of the Che household. All right, let's quickly talk about college football. We got the championship game next week. Frank, you're rocking the Notre Dame hat. Notre Dame against Ohio State. Ohio State winning 28-14 over Texas. Notre Dame squeaking by Penn State after a ugly Drew Aller interception. Frank, what are your thoughts on next Monday's game? You give the Fighting Irish a good chance to take one home?
I do. I do. I really do. Last year they played Ohio State, lost on the final play, final second. That was a hard-fought game at South Bend. That was a game I actually went to where Frank Walks began. You know, where I gotta say this: There's something magical about this Penn State team, about this Notre Dame team. The Penn State win was great. You know, Ohio State and Texas was lucky to beat Texas. Texas had two total just coaching brain farts. First off, the blitz at the end of the first half with 30 seconds left, let that guy wide open march down the field on the screen pass, and then you had first and goal, and you're doing a pitch back. Those are two just unexcusable plays. But Notre Dame has been magical. Marcus Freeman was on Frank Walks. This is magical to you. I wish Riley Mills was playing, but Jack Kaiser's going to be out there. Notre Dame's got a good defense. Love looks like he was starting to get healthy at the end of that game. Jeremiah Love, Love's had big runs all year. Notre Dame's found ways to win games. And you know what? There's one thing about Notre Dame. They're going to make the difference maker. Marcus Freeman. He
Yeah.
will not be outcoached. Marcus Freeman's going to find a way. Notre Dame's going to beat Ohio State.
Maxie, who you like? Tough loss for Penn State.
Yeah, tough loss. Drew Aller was not a good enough quarterback to win that game. I think he'll be all right going forward, but
Brutal pick.
that was just a brutal pick, and just you watch college and you watch NFL, and it's just like NFL quarterbacks. Just even some of the worst NFL quarterbacks in that situation will not make that throw, and that's just the difference between college and NFL, and that's just something that you need to account for when watching college football. And it was disappointing, but I don't know. I think Ohio State's going to smoke them. I think they got too much talent. I think Notre Dame has too many injuries. Like if Notre Dame was fully healthy, I think that they would have a shot. But if your best offensive player is banged up and he's not playing at 100%, and your best defensive player is not playing in the game, it's going to be tough to match up against a team like Ohio State, who's just kind of rolling right now.
They are a wagon. I'm interested to see what Tate's potential punishment would be if they don't win this game, because he eked out of having to walk. I think he was not going to do the highway route, so I think it was going to be like 310 miles, which would have been a horrific punishment. I
would have been waiting at the finish line with a nice bowl of chili for him.
Yes, we shall see. That game is a week from tonight, so plenty of time to talk about that. But anything else, boys, for post show?
Nope, I'm heading back. I'll be back. I'll be back here actually in Chicago next week for that game to watch that stream.
Nice, love it. All right, Godspeed to Frank, who's if you're watching this, probably just landed in Newark or New York and is headed into the office for the stream. Thank you to Frank and Maxie. This has been the Rundown. We'll see you guys later.
All right, see you later.